To know the basic, we have to go to our GCP Cloud Console and we have to create a project. For now, I have already created a project using the name Demo1. On this project, we will first create an instance. So, as we see in the presentation, in first we will discuss about how you can create the VM creations, and then we will configure the firewall rules. Then we will configure the role-based access control, and then configure auto scaling, and we'll discuss about the architecture. So now we just going to go to the first in the console where we can create the VM. Then we need to go to the compute engine. In compute engine, you have to create the VM instances. So to create the VM instance, you have to go to the click on this option, create instance. There you can see the by default an instance name will be created. As we are using a very general standard, then we will using the series E2, that is low cost, and using the CPU of 25 to 32, maximum memory of 128 GB Intel Broadwell, and in the, so we will keep it as default because if you want to change it, the price may change. So in the compute optimize options, you can check we are using C2, that is high performance intensive workloads. Memory optimized, we can use M2, and storage optimized option, that is Z3. And we are using only one GPU, that is by default NVIDIA T4. So now we will go to the OS configuration stage. In the OS configurations, you can see that the instance by default of an OS is already configured. So over here, if you can change this option, you can see that the version GNU Linux 12 bookworm, it is by default, and you can change the configuration to any of this as per your standard, but we are keeping it as default. And in the custom options, you can check the email persistent links with the maximum size of 10 GB. And over here, we use Google managed encryption key as the encryption is enabled. Enable snapshot schedule. We don't need to enable the snapshot schedule. So this is the existing disk. Over we can create it and achieve the snapshot. We have the balanced persistent disk. We have the three option: extreme persistent disk, SSD persistent disk, and standard persistent disk. So you can keep the both disk as a balance by default. So you can use the Google encryption key, and we can continue with all these things. So now we are going to cancel this one. So now, and over here you can check that the custom options in the machine configurations. In the custom option, we can use this three options, that is a shared core. You can use E2 as a E2 as a micro, small, and medium. By default, it is taking small, so we will take as a micro. That is 1 GB, which is a very small as we are using in a basic purpose. So uh, now over here you can check the E2, that is the cost. You can go to the custom option. Here you can use the how many codes you are going to use, what memories that you are going to use, that you can create from here. And now there is another options for the OS and the storage. So over here we can see that by default the OS is if we are using, that is Debian GNU. We can change it also from this side. From as a Debian GNU, there is a lot of options over here. Yeah, you can change it from that side, and I'm just keeping it as it is. So compare disk type, you can just keep it. These are the disk categories. You can see over here. This is the maximum size of the series, different series and all. Now you can go to the. Now we are going to the main thing, that is we need to, if we want to change the OS, what we need to do, we can go to that. We can use the operating system as Ubuntu, and which is Ubuntu 20.4 LTS, maximum size of 10 GB. That's in the advanced option, you can see that there is an enable snapshot in this. You can create that. We can select the encryptions and select this one. So as per our standard, it is already created. So now we are going to we'll go to the we have keep it as a default in Ubuntu 24 LTS. Then we're going to networking option. We can go to the then we will just in the networking option there is in firewall there you need to allow this HTTP traffic, HTTP traffic. If IP forwarding, if you want to enable the IP forwarding, then you can enable this one. And the default here you can see the default IPv4, and you can add different network interface if you want, but for that I just don't want anything currently. So this is this one for networking. We can create the default, and we're going to observability. We can install the ops agent and the monitoring and logging, but we for now it is just one don't want to do this one. And now we are going to security option. So in the security option, there we have a service account that is complete default service account. We do not have any other options. So now here we can use it and we can give the full access and the full access on the API cloud. These are the three different scope of access you can use for the particular users and in the VM instances. And this, there you can use it as per your purposes. There you have that. There is a security. There is. I just don't want to change anything. As this is a default account, it is already been there in the advanced option. You can there is different options for Google managed encryption keys, and if you want to any custom management, then you can create this as per your choice. Now we are going to create that instance. It is showing that this instance is creating. So over here you can check that the instance is going to create from there now, and afterwards we will go to the next part. That will be we will go to IAM admin option and the VPC network settings, so that we can discuss them differently about the all the how it is working in the different ways. So by this, it will take some time. So it will take some time to create that and see the network instance is created. Where you can see that by anything that this is the network instance is created internal IP. This is the external IP and connect. This is SSH connections and all. Now see that now you are being the project of this one, okay, in this organization. Now you can check that it is already been created. So after creations, we will just jump onto the IAM rule, IAM admin, where we can define the security measures. So you can see that this is resource access control. I am an admin. Now over here, we can check the different security measures. As you can see that these are the default editor options and the thing that is the user ID. These things that you are create this is creating. Okay. Now our work is to grant an access. We need to grant some access to the different users. There you can see that we can create a role for or some conditions. You can select a role. Different roles are there for compute agent, editor, and the owner. There are three different of currently used role. And the basic roles are there. Access approvals that you can do deeply if you go for a thing that they will you may know for these things. The actions. Over here you can select a role. This is I think that role you can use the compute. Full control of all compute engines resources. You can use it. And now over here we need to give by default. You can check that here you can give your workspace account also. Compute admin. We are using root admin. You can use a compute viewer. But there is a different kind of compute it has only the read only access. So I'm just checking any other account. So this one you can use as a compute viewer. Here you can add also some conditions also. If you want to add some conditions, you can do that. So and over here, this is also a contain. This is also an editor. If you want to add any conditions, then it's okay. For now, we are not. This is not usable. Now I'm going to set this one. Then we are directly going to the VPC network firewall policy. So you can see that this account is a compute viewer. But the advanced security inside, you can edit from this one, your principal from that also. If you want to add some rule or something, add another rule that you want, that you can also test changes. So for now, we're not doing anything. We're directly going to the VPC network, that is VPC in the base PC network firewall. So over here, you can check the firewall settings. You can create the firewall rule for the different policies. This is a firewall. You can create a firewall rule from your side. So this will open up the firewall settings from the sites on the sites. Yeah, you can see that there is a different default firewall policies are there, and the actions and the protocols, ports. So we are going to create over here a firewall rule where there should be some of the something that will be going to be there. For creating this one, we'll start. We can create a new rule, that is firewall rule, that is egress rule, and where we have to direction of the traffic, we need to select the egress, or because we are uh, using egress rule, which can select that this rule basically used for selecting can only restrict, which can only access the restricted IPs from the Google Cloud Access. That is the main thing for egress rule. So in the external match, we can use the allow or deny, and in targets you have the specified target tags or specified service account. Or there's, so we are selecting all instances in the network, not on the all instances. Specified target tags, state of specified service target tags. You can use specified service account. In this project, we have this one, the service account, the default service account. Now we have to give the destination ranges. If we for destination ranges, for example, this is our means IPv4 ranges over here. IPv4 ranges, that means you have to give the IP address of yourself also, 192.168.2.0, 192.168.2.0. This one will be good. Source filter not needed. This is the specified protocols, the TCP ports that you have to provide. The default ports that you need to provide over here. If you want, for the ports, we can use HTTPs for 80, um, 1.33. You can use the 80, 40, 50, 50, 53, 40. That we are using ports. These are the ports. 40, 60, and over here we can use this one for HTTP is ID, and this is 443 that we are using. And now we are going to create that rule now, firewall rule. This is egress rule is going to create. So it is created already, and these are the two protocols to ports that is going to be allowed in the firewall. So firewall is created. Now we can jump into the final step, that is auto scaling policy. For that reason, we need to go to the instance group part, and we can create that instance group from our side, and then you can create directly. You can go to the instance group over here. You can create the instance group, and these are the final steps for the auto scaling. You can create the template of the instance group. This is instance group 1, and there is a 3 instance group over there. One is stateless, new managed instance group that is full of stateful, and new unmanaged instance group. This is true. So this one we need to create it from our side. These are the final step. We are keeping the name as it is. We are not changing the name. And now we need to select the instances. So for that reason, we need to create a new instances. That is by default taking. We are not changing anything from there. Just that is as it is. We are doing this one and save and continue. You can select the allow HTTPS traffic, HTTP traffic, full access to the cloud API. This is the default access one, and we are not doing any changes over here. Just going to save and continue using this instance template. This is everything. This is the initialization period. Repair instances. There's nothing. We are not doing anything. We are not adding any port. Here you can. This is the final thing. And the CPU utilizations. You can, if you go to the edit signal option, there you will get the CPU utilizations. The HTTP load balancing, cloud pub CPU, and the monitoring metric. That is a new thing. It's completely configured in the result. And the target CPU utilizations is targeted in 60. Optimize if you want to optimize for the availability. That is the, if when the auto scaling is needed, it will send a signal. So we are keeping it by default. We're not doing any changes. There is another option for auto healing if anyone wants to change that the compute engine, that is another VM instance is needed or not. That can do the health check. If you want, then you can create that one. And if you can add any port, if you want to add any port, you can add the port and the port numbers, port names. That is, this is as per your thing. Then this is a nothing much. So resize this request as a VM advance based on the audience C. Use resize request means if you want to do the auto scaling, this is the auto scaling procedure. You can, there is another if you want to do that. So there is a locations also for the multiple zone. This one, and we are going to create this instance group. So it will take some time, and I think almost everything is done from our side. It will create sometimes and just bring it pause. So the VM is created. If you want to open it, still the status is ready. So This one is done. Thank you. And that's all for my side. Have a great day.